Welcome back to the study of ourselves. The thing that I want to focus on today is if we ever really make it in life. Because often it feels like we don't. We put these extremely high goals, aspirations, dreams, and we definitely set out to achieve them. We put plans in motion. We write out the ways of how we could possibly get there. We dream about the opportunities that could come down the pipe. But in reality, a lot of the times, regardless of if we get it or not, we don't ever feel like we make it, which is kind of a strange thing. Recently, I was talking with a friend of mine, colleague rather, who's roughly 6 years older than me. And I asked her because she was in a position that I'm sure 6 years ago at my age, she would have loved to have been in. And she'd be so ecstatic to hear the news about where she is today. But I asked her, I said, do you feel today 6 years ahead of where I am now? And with 6 years ahead of where you were 6 years ago? Do you feel like you've made it? And the answer to that was still no. She said she had more things on her plate. She had more dreams, more aspirations, more things coming in her future that if she hit that next barrier, if she got that next path, then she would feel like she made it. But as it stands right now, she doesn't feel like she made it. Now, the thing that I want to look at here is if we can take a moment to look back and think about our younger selves. If you were to go back and think about yourself 3 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, and ask yourself, as that person in the past, have you made it today? I think you'd have a pretty different answer than if you just asked yourself today, have you made it? Because making it is honestly really relative to the current status and situation that you're in. But when you put yourself in the frame of who you were 3, 6, multiple years away, you can look back and say, man, those issues that I had at the time, those things that seemed absolutely ginormous, I conquered them. Or if you didn't conquer them, you can say, well, this is what happened. This is how I am now. And this is why I'm here. Which brings me to another point. The only person that is ever in front of us is the person in the present. We like to think about us in the past and the mistakes we might have made or the great things we might have done. We like to think about the ideal self in the future, the person that is coming down in a couple of years and say, well, when I get there, when I'm at that age, I'm going to feel great. But the only person that is truly within our grasp, a person that we truly know on an individual basis, is the one who's right in front of us. And the interesting thing about the person that's in front of us is you in the past made all of those actions that got you to where you are now. It was entirely built up of a situation of events of which you were a part of, for good or bad. But you were the person that got yourself there. And then let's think about in the future, because that's entirely going to be in your control. Those are going to be your actions, the things that'll come down the pipe are the things that you're going to end up leading yourself to. But you're making all those actions in the future, try to benefit that person in the present day out of love. You're trying to love that person and make the best for that person possible. And regardless of what happens, you're trying your best to make sure that future person gets the life they want to live. So if you're holding regrets about the person that you are now because of the things you did in the past, just remind yourself, the past you did all those actions, well, they were doing it out of love. At least they were trying. And maybe the expectations weren't right, or maybe something went wrong, but they did it out of love. And lastly, I think there's a way to get around those setting expectations that don't work out. I think there's a way to get around looking back on your life and saying, damn, I wish I would have done better. I wish this result would have happened. And I truly believe the way to get there is to love the process. Because if you love the process that you're going on, you're loving the steps that you're taking, you're loving the way that you are living on a daily basis, then all of the future results that come down are going to be because of love, because of actions of love, because of things you've done for yourself out of love. And it's going to lead you to hopefully a life you love, even if it's not the desired result that you thought it was going to be, that you hoped it was going to be, that you prayed for it to be. At least you got a result that came from love. And honestly, isn't that better than a result that came from anything else? Thank you for listening today. I sincerely appreciate it. Have a great day. Love your process.